Hi guys, Alex Taylor down at Living Golf Academy, and today we're going to take a look at, does a draw or a fade go further with your driver? Okay then, so in theory, and this is where theory and reality don't always match up, if I deliver the golf club exactly the same loft, hit it out the same part of the club face, and all I change is the relationship of the club face to the path, I should get exactly the same distance with a draw and a fade. But I'm going to hit 5 real balls on GC quad with a draw, 5 with a fade. We're going to look at some numbers and we're going to see, for me, which one goes further. And we're going to talk about why that's the case. Okay then guys, so we're going to hit 5 draws first, then 5 fades. I'm going to use the TaylorMade M3. I've got it set 9.5, all the weights up at the front, so low spin, and I've got the Tensai blue stiff shaft. Only reason I'm using M3, just watched the PGA, Brooks Koepka, amazing, and he was absolutely murdering his off the tee. If I can get anywhere near his, I'll be flabbergasted, but this is the driver. We've got TaylorMade TP5 golf balls, 5 draws, 5 fades. We'll look at the ball flight, then we'll look at some numbers, see which goes further with driver, draw or fade. So in theory, the draw is a little bit more natural for me. And a good solid strike, turning over. And a decent start. Now, I would love to say that with these draws and fades, I'm going to hit the exact same shape every time. I'm not. A little bit of it is obviously I'm not going to deliver the club the same every time, but obviously the strike on the face will change the strike as well. So pretty pleased with the first one. Just turning a little bit more. Again, good strike. And certainly distance-wise, a pretty good start. I'll be pretty pleased with the length on both of those. On all these shots, I'm going to aim straight so we can see the ball shape away from the centre line. Obviously, if I was playing for the shape, for the draw, I'd be aiming more right. For the fade, I'd be aiming a little bit more to the left. So shot 3 with the draw. Again, solid, if not perfect. Chasing out there that little bit more. So last couple with the draw. Again, pretty solid. At least they're turning over. Different amounts each time. And let's go one final one with the draw. Again, not too bad. And chasing out there. Okay guys, so I've hit 5 draws. Time to switch over onto fade. Now, any of you guys that watch my stuff, you'll appreciate fade's not the one I'm as comfortable with. It is something I'm working on at the moment, and it is something that I feel, in order for me to hit, not necessarily more fairways, because I'm going to do a video on which is more accurate, draw or fade, but on certainly some of those left to right dog legs, it'd be nice for me to be able to hit that little fade a little bit more control. Okay, shot 1 with the fade. Once again, strike felt good. Pretty pleased with that. And like I said, for me personally, I enjoy working the ball both ways. Can't hit it straight with driver, so I don't even try. But if I could work it either way, and it'd be lovely to know, you know, which one does go the further, because if fade goes further, on some of those big tee shots, I should be trying to hit fade rather than the draw. But shot 2 with the fade. Again, felt nice and solid. And again, I'd be happy with that. Definitely for me, swing's starting to feel a little bit better than it's done over the last few weeks. A couple of little injuries I've had, getting a little bit better. Again, nice and solid. It's nice to see that they are working left to right. But last two. And it'll be interesting to see, because normally when I'm trying to hit a fade, I do just generate just a couple of mile an hour more club head speed. I think I just use the floor a little bit better when I'm trying to hit the fade than I do with the draw. But last couple. Again, nice and solid. Definitely not as comfortable with that shot, but would take that. And one final one with fade. It's not often I hit 5 fades on the run. And again, getting a little bit of inconsistency with shape, but not too bad. Right then guys, so the good news was the first 5 all went right to left, not exactly the same strike, not exactly the same shape. And the second 5 all went left to right. Again, not exactly the same strike, not exactly the same shape. But I felt I was delivering the club pretty decently, and they were all solid strikes, if not absolutely flushed. So let's look at some numbers and see which goes further, draw or fade with driver. Okay then, so if we look at club head speed, we've got 108 versus 109, so nothing really in that. Ball speed, nearly 157 to 159. So again, showing that the strike's very, very, very consistent. My ratio, my efficiency, 1.45. Now, interestingly there, the draw, I presented 13.5 degrees and only 11 with the fade. I would say that's a little bit down to contact point. Backspin, this is the big one. Backspin with the draw was 2,000, was 3,000 with the fade. Peak height round about the same, and the draw 267 total versus 267 carry versus 260, 294 versus 281. Right then guys, so we can see for me there, interestingly, even though a lot of people would think that with the club face maybe closing a little bit more relative to the path, be de-lofted, and whereas with the fade for a lot of guys, they would tend to leave the club face a little bit more to the right with more loft. I don't always do that. Generally for me, what you see is with my fade, I tend to kind of cover the ball a little bit better, keep the loft off, hence the lower launch. With the draw, I tend to hit up that little bit more and then maybe just present a little bit more loft. So it was interesting looking at the numbers, but definitely for me there, the draw going that little bit further than the fade. Okay guys, so we could see with me, the draw goes a little bit further. Now, even though I tended to launch the ball a little bit higher with the draw, which reduced my ball speed a tiny bit. I did swing slightly slower with the draw for some reason as well, but my strike with the draw tends to be a little bit higher on the face and a little bit more towards the toe, which reduces that spin. With the fade, my strike tends to be a little bit, tiny bit lower on the face, but just a fraction more towards the heel. So even though the ball speed was up because of less loft, which in theory should have spun it less, the strike of the shot actually affected the spin, which then affected the distance. So like I said right at the start, if you can manage to deliver the club exactly the same strike and loft and speed, but just change your relationship of face and path, your distance will be absolutely identical. And there will be guys out there who hit fade further than draw. But for me, the draw goes that little bit further down to my strike and the spin being that little bit lower. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch my stuff. Comment below and I'll get back to as many of you as I can. Subscribe to my channel if you don't already. Follow me on all my other social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.